Angelina Jolie, mother of Shiloh Pitt, reveals what no one saw coming. Angelina Jolie spent nearly 2 decades shielding her daughter Shiloh from the world. She paid millions to control her first baby photographs. She defended every choice Shiloh made about her hair, her clothes, even her name. But on May 27, 2024, Shiloh walked into a Los Angeles courthouse completely alone. She hired her own lawyer. She paid for it herself. And she did something her own mother never saw coming. Brad Pitt was reportedly devastated when he found out. Sources say it broke him in ways the divorce never did. But the real story is not just what Shiloh did. It is what happened next and what Angelina finally revealed about the daughter the world thought she knew. Shiloh Jolie was born on May 27, 2006, in the coastal town of Walvis Bay, Namibia. She arrived by scheduled cesarean section, weighing around 7 pounds. Angelina's Los Angeles obstetrician, Dr. Jason Rothbart, had flown halfway across the world for the birth. Brad Pitt remained in the operating room throughout and cut the umbilical cord himself. Rothbart later told People magazine that everything went flawlessly, and reports noted that Angelina experienced moments of hysterical laughter during the procedure due to morphine. Namibia had not been chosen by accident. Brad and Angelina wanted real privacy, a place where paparazzi could not easily reach them and where the government actively helped keep journalists at bay. Even Shiloh's name carried a story before she took her first breath. Shiloh was a Hebrew name linked to the Messiah, but for Angelina it carried something far more personal. Her parents had once chosen it for a child they lost to miscarriage. Her middle name, Nouvel, honored French architect Jean Nouvel. Then the photographs arrived, and with them came a level of frenzy the world had rarely seen. People magazine paid a reported $4.1 million for the North American rights. Hello? Magazine in the UK paid an estimated $3.5 million. Together, roughly $7.6 million, a figure that shattered every record in celebrity photojournalism. New York Magazine captured the cultural hysteria in one unforgettable line, writing that not since Jesus had a baby been so eagerly anticipated. Every dollar from that photo deal went directly to UNICEF. Brad and Angelina also donated $300,000 to improve maternity wards in Walvis Bay and Swakopmund, along with additional funds for a local school and community center. And yet, even in those golden early days, the small signs were already there. By the time Shiloh was 2, she had made one thing very clear. In a 2008 appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, Brad described it with an amused smile. She only wanted to be called John, he said. Or Peter. He connected it to Peter Pan. If he called her she would correct him immediately. I'm John. Then if he asked John whether she wanted some orange juice, she would simply say no. By 2010, Angelina gave a fuller picture of who Shiloh was becoming. In Vanity Fair, she spoke plainly. Shiloh liked to dress like a boy, wanted to be a boy, so they had cut her hair. She wore boys' clothes and thought of herself as one of the brothers. But Angelina did not say any of this with worry or hesitation. She described Shiloh as hysterically funny, one of the goofiest, most playful people imaginable. She told Reuters that same year that she would never force a child to be something they were not. Children, she believed, should express themselves freely without judgment, because that freedom was essential to their growth. The public watched closely over the years that followed. Then around 2021, people noticed a visible shift. At the Eternals premiere, Shiloh appeared in a cropped Dior dress Angelina herself had worn in 2019, paired with polka-dot sneakers. The internet erupted. Shiloh said nothing. Angelina's response was warm and effortless. Oh my God, wear it and wear it better than me. Take it. It's your turn. But while Shiloh was finding herself, the family around her had already begun to fracture. On September 14, 2016, the entire Jolie Pitt family boarded a private jet near Chateau Mirabeau in southern France, headed for Los Angeles with a fuel stop in Minnesota. All 6 children were on board. What happened during that flight triggered FBI and Department of Child and Family Services investigations, sealed court records, and years of bitter legal conflict. According to a heavily redacted 53-page FBI report obtained by multiple outlets in August 2022, Angelina told investigators that Brad had been drinking and was angry about her parenting. He allegedly grabbed her by the head, shook her, pushed her into a bathroom wall while shouting that she was destroying the family. When one of the children asked if she was okay, Brad allegedly said mommy was not okay, that she was ruining the family and was crazy. One of the older children reportedly fired back, saying it was not her, it was him. 5 days later, on September 19, 2016, Angelina filed for divorce in Los Angeles Superior Court. She cited irreconcilable differences and requested sole physical custody of all 6 children. Both the FBI and DCFS investigations were eventually closed. No charges were filed. But the legal war over custody would rage for nearly a decade. The custody battle itself became one of the most exhausting and complex in Hollywood history. A private judge who had officiated their wedding at Chateau Miraval was eventually disqualified by the California Court of Appeal in July 2021 for failing to disclose business ties to Brad's legal team. That ruling wiped out a 50-50 custody decision that had been a major win for Pitt. Years of legal work vanished overnight. The custody fight had to restart entirely. And as it dragged on, more and more of the children were simply aging out of the court's reach altogether. Which brings us back to Shiloh. On May 27, 2024, her 18th birthday, she filed a petition in Los Angeles Superior Court to remove Pitt from her legal name. She hired her own attorney, Peter K. Levine, and paid for the entire process herself. A source told Entertainment Tonight that Angelina had not been told in advance and could not speak for it. On August 19, 2024, a Los Angeles judge quietly approved the petition. The name Shiloh Jolie Pitt ceased to exist on paper. Brad Pitt was reportedly devastated. Sources told People he had never felt more joy than when she was born, and that each reminder of his distance from his children hit him in ways the divorce decree never had. But Shiloh was not the only one sending a message through a name. Zahara had introduced herself as Zahara Marley Jolie at her Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority probate ceremony at Spelman College in November 2023, no Pitt at all. Vivian appeared as Vivian Jolie in the playbill for Broadway's The Outsiders, where she served as a producer's assistant. And in February 2026, Maddox followed suit, credited simply as Maddox Jolie in the credits of Angelina's film Couture, where he served as third assistant director. 2 years earlier, he had still been listed as Maddox Jolie Pitt on Netflix's Maria. 4 of the 6 children had now publicly distanced themselves from their father's surname. Meanwhile, Shiloh herself has been quietly building a life and identity entirely on her own terms. In 2025, she emerged as a dancer and choreographer, performing publicly under the professional name Cher Jolie. She made her choreographic debut at a fashion event tied to Isabel Marant's capsule collection with Net-a-Porter, where fellow dancer Keone Rose performed her routine. In April 2026, she appeared in the music video for What's a Girl to Do by K-pop artist Daeung of Cosmic Girls, and the casting was entirely merit-based. The management team at Starship Entertainment held open auditions and had no idea who she was when she walked in. She was selected because she could dance. By then, fans watching her online were struck by something else entirely: how extraordinarily much she looked like her mother at the same age. Angelina, for her part, has been quietly letting go in ways that surprised even those closest to her. In November 2024, she told Good Morning America that Shiloh was the most private of all her children. Just like not photographed, not a thing, she said. And in 2026, as the twins Knox and Vivian approached their own 18th birthdays, reports surfaced that Angelina is preparing to leave Los Angeles entirely, listing her historic $25 million Cecil B. DeMille estate and planning to split her time between New York, Europe, and Cambodia. The city that made her famous is one she says she can no longer call home. Hollywood, she told Wall Street Journal magazine, is not a healthy place. It is part of what happened after her divorce. She said she would move when she could. But through every shift, the legal battles, the name changes, the names dropped from credits and playbills and courthouse filings, one thing has remained constant. Angelina always comes back to her children. In Vogue, she said having them saved her. In her own words, I would have gone under in a much darker way had I not wanted to live for them. On Good Morning America, she reduced it to one sentence: it's my happiness. You can take everything else away from me. Nothing else matters. When asked about the public narrative that she had orchestrated the distance between her children and their father, she pushed back quietly but firmly. She said she continued to focus on their healing. She said some people had taken advantage of her silence. And she said her children knew their own truth and their own minds. And Shiloh Jolie, the child born under the most extraordinary secrecy and global fascination, who once only answered to John, who danced her way into a K-pop video without anyone knowing her last name, seems to know her truth better than almost anyone. She did not leave anyone a note. She just moved forward. And that, more than any courthouse filing, is what no one saw coming.